Do you feel like you're awesome at making time to get out and move, whether it's walking, going for a jog, going to the gym, hitting the workout class? You can make time for that. But then you get home and you start going through the chaos of the day between work and school and kids, the dogs, all of it. And before you know it, it's like 2:00 and you haven't eaten. Or you realize that you are starving. And by the time you realize you're hungry, you look around and you don't have anything readily available. So you're just grabbing food last minute. I think this is one of the biggest struggles that we as women juggling all the things come up against. And that's balancing both the fitness aspect of our health with the nutrition piece. And so today, what I want to talk about is the 5 things that we really need to get in order before we start working out. And I think the best part about these is that they are super easy. They are things that maybe will take 20 minutes on your Sunday to do a little prep work. There has to be some pre-thought that goes into it. But once we put that system in place, you can actually do all 5 of these things on autopilot. And here is what it's going to get you. Not only will it get you so much more out of your workout, but you are actually going to feel energized from the workout. And at the end of the day, I know that's what we're all after, is more energy so we can manage all of the things. And without this nutrition piece, without these 5 things, that workout is draining you, sister. So you guys ready? We are going to hammer out these 5 things for you to do, taking less than 20 minutes on a Sunday to get more out of your workout and actually boost your energy from it. Let's do this. Hey, I am Jess, and I'm obsessed with all things nutrition, science, and helping you navigate this information while maintaining a deep sense of peace and empowerment in your body. I'm a registered dietitian who started out with an eating disorder and then fell in love with learning about how God intricately designed our bodies to be resilient and so much more than superficially beautiful. I am now a mama who loves to be healthy, not because of how it makes me look, but because of how it has transformed the energy I can give to my family, my friends, and you. On this show, we hit on real talk around the latest nutrition science and body image resiliency, all while balancing it between grit and grace. Think of this as your weekly audio coffee to encourage your empowered eating journey. This is the Fuel Her Awesome podcast. At the heart of the Fuel Her Awesome show is empowering you to set down confusion about nutrition and push aside that tiny nagging voice that tells you you are anything but awesome. I love to do this by teaching empowered eating. The empowered eating method includes orienting your goals based on your values, understanding your body's biofeedback instead of relying on the scale, while learning about nutrition science. This podcast scratches on the surface of empowered eating, and if you're looking for more, you can snag a spot in my free workshop, How to Eat Intuitively and Hit Your Goals. You can also find all of my favorite supplements, how to work with me one-on-one, and so much more. All of this can be found over at jessbrownrd.com. All right, let's dive into the good stuff on today's show. So last week I gave a talk to a soccer team, and we talked about just optimizing your performance through nutrition, something that I think none of us have the pleasure of getting that education in school. Yet we're all expected to know what to do. But because we don't get the education, what happens is we just don't really do a lot. So I asked this group of women, I was like, how many of you guys eat a pre-workout snack? And maybe a third of the girls raised their hands. And then I asked, how many of you are eating a solid breakfast? I would say less than half raised their hands. And I was kind of, the dietitian in me was like, oh, we got to get this fixed. But then I remembered before I had, before my career was food, when I was just focused on living my life and juggling all the things, I was the same. I didn't do those things naturally. So my goal today is to give you guys these 5 things that really need to be in order before you start working out. Because if we don't have these things in place, what happens is your workout actually hurts you more than it helps you. So what I mean by that is that when we exercise, anytime you push your body, and remember, it's relative. So if you are not exercising at all, if you're not moving at all, if you are living a very sedentary life, walking to you is pushing your body. If you are walking and all of a sudden you decide to throw in some jogs in there, I don't care how long they are, that is pushing your body past the capacity that it is used to. So anytime we push our body past our own capacity, what we're doing is we're putting our body in this catabolic response. Now, a catabolic response is breaking, essentially our body's breaking itself down. And so when we're going and we're maybe doing the jog, or maybe we're starting to lift a little bit heavier, your muscles are breaking down. Now, that's really, really awesome if we have the tools after the workout to help repair it. If we don't actually give our body nutrition after any type of movement that pushes our body, all we're doing is putting our body in that catabolic state to where it's breaking itself down. So we're never actually seeing ourselves get any stronger. We're not seeing ourselves get any healthier. Those metabolic adaptations that come from exercise, they don't happen while we exercise. They actually happen after the workout when we've given our body the tools to repair and rejuvenate. Now, the other thing that happens is when we push our body past its comfortable capacity, we are compromised. And one of the things that is compromised is our immune system. So I always have this story, like I'm a big hiker, and one day I decided to hike. We have this really cool trail here in Albuquerque that goes right up the front of our mountain on the east side of our city. It's a beautiful hike, but it is a gnarly hike. And I was feeling ambitious. This was like years ago. I think it was before I had kids. I haven't done it, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think I've done this hike since I had kids. See, we get busy. So anyways, I do this hike, and I remember I was feeling like really excited about it, but I was also in the middle of working 2 jobs and going to school. So I get up early on a Saturday. I go do this hike with my friend. We take some snacks. It's really great. But then I come back and I immediately had to go on to the next thing. So I had just a very typical breakfast. I did not repair and refuel the amount of energy I expended on that hike. I do remember feeling absolutely exhausted by the end of the day and went to bed, woke up the next morning, 1, starving, and 2, super, super sick. And I'm someone that has a really strong immune system. So of course I'm so offended. I'm like, oh, why did I get sick? But I've been humbled since I've had kids. The little petri dishes bring home all sorts of stuff. So I whistle a different tune now. But at that point in my life, I was like, why am I sick? I work out, I take care of myself. I was frustrated. I was mad. But when I look back, what happened is I had pushed my body far, far beyond its comfortable capacity. And I did not couple that with replenishment through nutrition. And so my body was in that catabolic response. My immune system was more susceptible to taking in bacteria, and I got super sick. I mean, that one knocked me out for almost a week. Now, who's to say? I mean, I could have still gotten sick, but I don't think I would have gotten as sick if I had taken the time to repair my body. So those are the 2 things that happen when we work out. We have an immunosuppressive effect, and that typically lasts about 24 hours. And then we have this catabolic response that comes with working out. So here are the 5 things we need to do to ensure that that's not happening, that we're actually giving our body the tools to not only counteract those 2 effects from exercise, but rebuild, repair, and become stronger, have more energy from the workout. Number 1 is have a pre-workout snack. I don't care if you're working out at 5 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon. We cannot go into the workout without glucose in our bloodstream. And if you're a morning worker-outer, I have officially made that a word in Jessica's dictionary. If you're a morning worker-outer, yes, I know you're not hungry in the morning. I'm not either. I work out super early, and our body's just not generating those cues at that time. However, when we wake up in the morning, there is a natural surge in our cortisol levels. This peak in our cortisol levels puts our body in this kind of hyperactive, inflamed state. And the one thing that's going to bring it down is glucose. Glucose tells our body, hey, we're okay. We have what we need. You can go ahead and drop some of the cortisol. Now, if I go into the workout with that elevated cortisol, and now I'm pushing my body even harder, that cortisol is just going to go up higher. And now that stress hormone is going to impact how I metabolize food the rest of the day. The other thing it does is it limits my workout because I'm not actually working out with fuel. I'm operating off adrenaline from that cortisol. So having a pre-workout is absolutely essential. And when you decide what you want, I mean, everybody's a little bit different in terms of like what they can handle in the mornings. I am a major fan of 2 to 3 dates. Well, 3 to 6, kind of depending on what type of workout you're doing. My runners, I recommend 6 of these. For my gym goers and CrossFitters and walkers, I recommend 2 to 3. So you literally take a date, you slice it down the middle, put some peanut butter in it, and a couple chocolate chips. Absolutely delicious. Small enough that I can eat them very quickly. It doesn't make me feel like I've eaten anything. I'm not going to the gym feeling sick, but I am going to the gym with some glucose on board and less cortisol. Now, here's the thing about those little dates. I'm not making those every morning at 4:30 a.m. No, I take about 10 minutes on a Sunday and I prep an entire container of these guys, keep them in the fridge, and they're there for me for about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how many I set up. That is going to be so crucial, is having those quick grab options ready to go. So whether you are working out at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m., they are there ready to just grab and go. I have a whole list of my favorite pre-workout snacks inside the Empowered Eating Method. So if y'all are in there, make sure you go to the fuel planning module and download that list, because that can help get you started and get your brain thinking, okay, what can I try? What can I add to my pantry to have readily available? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, having a post-workout snack immediately. I'm a huge fan of having this right as we finish the gym. Now, the research does show we have about like a 2 to 6 hour window to meet our nutritional needs, but I am an advocate for having it right away, and here's why. When we have that post-workout snack right away, we are less likely to skip it, and it's also less likely to take away from the next meal that we're having. Oftentimes, I have athletes who, and when I say the word athlete, sister, if you are moving your body on purpose, you're an athlete. I'm not just talking about, we put athletes, I think, on a pedestal, but if you're moving, you are an athlete. Most of my athletes, and that includes you, who do not have this post-workout ready to go when they walk back in the door, they skip it or they don't get enough at their next meal. So having that post-workout, knowing what you need and having it ready to go is absolutely crucial in making sure we give your body the tools so we don't have that immunosuppressive effect and we counteract the catabolic response. Now, when it comes to what to eat post-workout, this is highly individualized. This is something that I map out when we're working through a fuel plan, and I really like to customize it to your needs. But in general, we need at least 20 grams of protein here and then double that in carbohydrate. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 is having consistent protein intake. Your protein intake, I talk about this all the time. You know this. I'm a protein princess. I love me some protein. Hitting your protein goal consistently throughout the day, what it does is it provides like a continual water drip of amino acids, which are broken down proteins, to your blood supply. When we have that continual drip of amino acids, it's giving our body the tools it needs to keep up with the muscle turnover process that just naturally happens throughout the day. Doing this allows our muscles to, 1, maintain themselves, and 2, actually grow a bit stronger even as we age. Once we get to like 30s and beyond, our body's protein breakdown process just starts to happen at amplified rates. And so this is something that I do believe strongly in, and that is being intentional with our protein, making sure we can care for our muscles. And not because, yes, I love feeling strong, and I love like the feeling I get when I just, feel like, oh, I got some muscle here. It's a great feeling. But there's also some health motivators behind that, and that is keeping our bones strong. The stronger our muscles are, the stronger our bones are. And as a female, we are more at risk for osteoporosis, and I don't want any of us struggling with that later in life. Or maybe you're someone that already struggles a bit with it. I definitely have those clients that unfortunately are starting to develop osteopenia, which is like weakening of the bones in their 30s. And hey, if that's you, I just want you to know, one, you're not alone. There are a lot of individuals in that boat, but doing this can help prevent that osteopenia turning into full-on osteoporosis at an early age. So that consistent protein intake is super, super important. When I write my fuel plans, you'll see like I have at least like 5 intentional protein doses for almost every single person I work with, because that means then we're eating about 5 times a day. We're spacing those protein doses out throughout the day, and our muscles are happy to have that continual drip of the tools they need to repair and rebuild. Okay, so the first 3 are pretty tactical. We need a pre-workout, we need a post-workout, and consistent protein intake. And this is really what's going to take about 20 minutes of your time at the beginning of the week in thinking about how we might put specific food items in place in our pantry, in our gym bag, in our car, in our office, wherever we need them, so that we can check these 3 boxes. If you are here and you're like, okay, Jess, whoa, you went through that super fast, and I really need some help on figuring out exactly what those 3 need to be, snag a 1-hour session with me. I'd love to power through that with you. We can come up with some really crafty options based on your preferences and your capacity and your resources. Together, I love to jam out on that, and we can get that done easily in an hour. So those are the first 3. The second 2 are more of the mental shift, and these things, again, have to happen before we start working out. Otherwise, we're going to perpetuate some of the old diet culture mentality around exercise. So number 4 is have fun. Having fun while we move, I believe, is incredibly crucial when it comes to working out. If you are getting in the gym because you are strictly trying to burn calories or change your body, or weight loss is the primary driver, it's not going to last, or it's going to further embed some of that negative narrative you have in your head. The research actually shows this. When we're exercising for weight control, we tend to have more of a disordered eating approach to our food. My disordered relationship with food really stole my love for movement for a long time. It became more about burning a certain amount of calories, or I was focused on I have to run a certain distance for my workout to quote count. I forgot to have fun. So here's where enter CrossFit completely changed my life. And I know CrossFit's not for everyone. You might be like, that's way too intense for me. I used to think that too. But here's what CrossFit did do for me. And I want you to think of how can I find this in the movement that I am doing, because it really helped me return to the fun side of movement. Number 1, there are no mirrors in my CrossFit gym. There are no mirrors. And this means that every movement I do, I have to be in my body, feel my body, see how my body might maneuver this situation, how might I change my posture. All of that has to happen from an internal feeling as opposed to looking at myself in the mirror. It also removed the temptation to look at my body and criticize my body and see my silhouette. It just completely took it away. The other thing it did is it moved my attention off calories. If you look at any CrossFit workout at face value and you try to measure your calorie output, it's just discouraging. I mean, I did one this morning. It was a 6-minute workout. It was kettlebell swings and burpees, which were incredibly challenging to do back to back. And I put my watch on just for funsies because I knew I was going to record this episode. And it said I only burned 64 calories in the workout. And I'm going to tell you, I laid on the floor for 5 minutes after this workout because I was so exhausted. And old Jess would have seen that 64 calories and gone, dang it, that sucked. I felt like it was so much harder. But new Jess knows that that's not why I'm there. I'm there to have fun, push my body, feel how much I can push my body, and I'm going to appreciate that. No amount of calories is going to try to quantify that. So doing things like Zumba, rock climbing, hiking, anything that gets you away from mirrors and calories can help open up the door for you to return to movement as something fun. So you have got to make it fun, sister. The fifth and final shift that we have to have in place before we start working out is really wrapping our mind around the difference between rigidity and discipline. I am a huge advocate for specifying the difference between these two because I think it's really healing as we work to heal our relationship with exercise. Now, discipline is something that I think is incredibly powerful. Discipline is committing to the movement. Like, I am going to get up in the morning and move my body, even though I'm tired, even though it really sucks to get out of bed that early when it's dark. I'm going to do it for this greater purpose of serving who I want to be and the values that I have. It's setting your alarm early to push past your comfort zone, to do something that feels uncomfortable. It might be going to a new gym. It might be trying a new movement. It involves delaying instant gratification by doing the harder thing in faith that you will feel better later. This is discipline. This is something that I am so here for. And I believe when we implement discipline, it really gives us freedom later on because we do finally feel, we feel better, we feel healthier, we feel proud of how we are taking care of ourselves. Rigidity, on the other hand, is very, very different. Rigidity is rooted in disordered psychopathology. Rigidity is making yourself work out even when you're sick, when you are too tired, when you feel like you should have a recovery day, but you're forcing yourself to go. Rigidity is pushing yourself so hard in the workout and it's still not being enough. Like you're mad at yourself. Discipline means you just get out of the bed in the morning and you do it. Like discipline implements the practices, but then understands that no matter what, when you show up, that is a win. That is a success. Rigidity really doesn't allow for that. I say rigidity operates with the currency of shame, where discipline operates with a focus on curiosity and a goal of growth. So really different mindsets here. Rigidity is rooted in like insecurity, comparison. Maybe it's comparison to who you used to be before kids or the added responsibility. Rigidity gets stuck there, where discipline really is looking at like this desire to be better than just yesterday. Like I am going to grow every day based on the capacity that I have because I'm serving a purpose bigger than myself. I'm serving my value system. I'm serving my family. Rigidity does not allow room for error, where discipline has this posture of learning every step. There's a huge, huge difference there. Way I see it, we got to work hard. We got to focus. We will not meet our expectations sometimes, but that's okay. When we implement discipline, we expect that not every day is going to be perfect, and that gives us the stamina to get up and try it again. You with me? You guys ready to drop some of that rigidity? It's so freeing. I remember when I made this transition, there was a week I went to the gym and I I was so tired, but I was like, I'm going to go anyways because I know I feel better. So I went and I started working out and I didn't show up to the same capacity I did the week before. But I was like, you know what, Jess? I'm proud of you for being here. I'm proud of you for getting out of bed anyways. And you may not be pushing it as hard as you did last week, but you're still here and you're doing the best you can given today. I'm proud of you. That's discipline. Rigidity would have been like, oh, I can't believe you're still stuck at this weight. I can't believe you're still doing like the same distance or the same speed. No, discipline is like committing, doing, and then having the grace to recognize like, hey, I made it, I showed up, and the girl who showed up deserves to be here. Okay, so let's cover these 5. Let's recap them one more time for you. So the 5 things to do before you start working out is 1, get a pre-workout in order. Figure out what is easy, what is okay with your gut, and let's get that prepped and in your kitchen or pantry so that you can grab it and go no matter what time you're working out. Number 2, have a post-workout ready for you to have within 30 minutes of completing your workout. Number 3, consistent protein intake throughout the day. Those are the tactical ones. And then the last 2, find some movement that's fun. Get away from mirrors, get away from calories. Let's get back to that childlike fun when it comes to movement. And number 5, check your rigidity at the door. Check the ego, check the expectations. Girl, that's going to make room for discipline. And in the long run, that discipline is what is going to get you the changes and hitting the goals that you guys are after anyways. All right, I hope that you guys find at least 20 minutes on Sunday to do those first 3, and then the permission to start exploring to make the latter 2 happen, the fun and the discipline piece. If you need any help with those, I love talking about this inside the Empowered Eating Method. Right now, we are doing monthly live group coaching calls, and it's super fun. We get in there, and we can actually talk about this stuff, hold each other accountable, break down some of the nuances and the personal experiences. I'm just loving getting to know the girls inside the program. So if you're interested in that, you can find out more at jessbrownrd.com under courses. Or if you're just like, I don't know, I want to know more about the Empowered Eating Method, go check out my free workshop. jessbrownrd.com. Right at the top, you guys can find the free Empowered Eating Workshop. I will see you back here next Monday. And actually, when I meet you back here next Monday, my hope is that if you're working out, you found some time on Sunday to do at least the first 3 for these guys. The first 3, which is that pre-post workout snack and protein, and that you start exploring fun and a little bit of discipline. Hope you have a beautiful day, my friend. Until next time, cheers and happy eating. Gosh, I'm so glad you joined me today. If today encouraged you, would you take a minute and encourage me by leaving a review for the show? I read every single one of these reviews, and your words, they mean so much to me. This podcast is here to support you weekly, but it only scratches the surface. To learn more on how you can become an empowered eater, snag my free workshop, How to Eat Intuitively and Hit Your Goals Without Obsessing Over Food, at jessbrownrd.com. Don't forget to join me right here next Monday, where I cannot wait to fuel your awesome. Cheers, my sweet friend, and happy eating.